Hello and welcome to round 4 of AOR Season 16 PC Assist League 1, and it takes us to Azerbaijan, which has been quite an alright track for me. I've got a couple of podiums around here, notably in AOR Season 14, where I actually got quite a lot of podiums to be honest. But here we are now after an alright comeback in China 3 weeks ago. Yes, we had a 2-week break, so the last race was all the way back 3 weeks ago. So in the meantime, I've had a couple of good THL results, so of course just trying to sort of consolidate it in this league as well. But of course this league is much harder than THL, as I'm sure Vladimir Jaeger will probably say as well, because of course unfortunately in THL it's only really me and Jaeger fighting at the front, whereas in this league there's a bunch of competitive people. As you can see, especially as we're in PC Assist League 1, pushing the limits of the track. Of course, I'm not the best when it comes to qualifying. I'm not the best at this game as well. But you can see right now P10, and I'm really improving on that. So, of course, you really want to be starting on the super softs and going to the softs. But my methodology was there's a bunch of fast guys in the league. There's 19-man lobby. As you can see, we fall outside the top 10. I thought if we can get 11th place, we can start on the softs, super softs anyway. So it'll be fine. But you can see as we actually come down the start finish straight, we're actually a long way up on our PB. So this one I was thinking, should I back off? Well, the only problem is if we back off now, we're going to be starting P13, which isn't the best position to start. We want to get that P11 as we actually cross the line now. We actually get elevated to I think P5 momentarily, but we eventually slip to P9. But you can see there's not many people in the Ultra Softs. Rogue Samurai actually the best of us, not too far ahead of me. So I've got quite good pace. Out qualifying Jaeger for once, but he was on the super softs, so can't get too gassed over that. But you can see Shroud and Edge at the front as always as we go into the strategy screen. And yeah, starting on the ultras in qualifying, a bit like Bahrain, we committed ourselves to the 2-stop, and I can't just beg and wish for a safety car like what happened in Bahrain. I need to tough it out. I actually do switch onto the 1-stop because I've heard you can stretch the tyres for the 1-stop, but I mean, I was thinking honestly that the 2-stop was probably most likely. I mean, you can see me umming and ahhing it right now, but I think, yeah, I mean, because I'm on the controller, it's much harder to make the 1-stop work here. I mean, as you probably well, I think I failed to mention in the THL race, I mean, my friend Shani Onyx was getting 20% less tyre wear than me on the same tyres, so it is much harder to stretch the tyres on the pads. Nonetheless, though, we're going to start from P9 on the grid. On the Ultra Softs, we actually don't get the best start. As you can see, Ken Worthington absolutely swamps people off the start. And we're going to try to get around the outside. You can see there's actually a big pile up there. Try to avoid the mess. You can see Gats Kareka past us. And we also got Gorkri past us as we actually fall 3 positions in the end. Jaeger's also quite a bit ahead of us, so he's just trying to avoid front wing damage. You can see our teammates up here are inside. We're not wanting to lose any more positions. Of course, I've always been too sort of easy off the start, just letting people pass. Because I haven't been competitive. As you can see, Jaeger's off onto the sides. I think he's crashed out in the castle section. So, yeah, really unfortunate there considering he was so dominant in THL. So, hopefully we'll see him bounce back next race. But yeah, as I was saying, yeah, just of course, just trying to keep up with these guys. And, yeah, you can see on the Ultras, obviously sort of committed to the 2-stop, unfortunately. As you can see, there's another retirement already. So, we're already down to 17 runners. As, yeah, once again, I was saying I've always been too easy off the start. In the last 2 seasons, just sort of letting people pass because I've been near the back, but now I'm sort of battling in the midfield now. I need to make the starts count. I need to defend my position at the start, and of course try to avoid front wing damage if at all possible as well. As you can see now, I'm not holding back from a move this time because normally I would sort of shy away from moves, but we're going to go, it's going to be quite a simple slipstream maneuver on Gorkri. Actually no, it's not, because this is actually yellow flag, so we have to get the position back. You go for the cutback. And yeah, he's actually defended the position there. But I'm just trying to be a bit more aggressive than before. Of course, not trying to be reckless. As you can see, Gorkri's actually managed to pull ahead now, because unfortunately these tyres were beginning to go off quite quickly. Of course, the Ultra Softs, a bit like in China, they're sort of like a token tyre. They're only really needed for qualifying, and then they basically just add a stop to your race. So you can see a few people already in. The likes of Rogue Samurai already into the pits on lap 4. So, yeah, he's another pad runner. So you can see we are not able to stretch these tyres that long. And you can see as well as I'm actually going to clatter into the wall, missing my braking point there on these worn tyres. You can see already my tyre wear nearly 70% on lap 5, so there's no way I can stretch these tyres to the lap 7, which is recommended. So I may as well just come in now and get the front wing changed. But yeah, you can see just how ridiculous tyre wear this year is. It's impossible to pull off one stops on the pad compared to the wheel. But yeah, we're just going to live with it. As you can see, we let our teammate pass. There's no point holding him up. He's on a different strategy to us. And even so, we completely out-qualified him in qualifying, to be honest. And I feel like I actually drove this first stint better than him. Because considering he's the championship leader, he had quite a poor first stint, I've got to imagine. But it just shows the tight nature of this league. The fact that we're all competing quite close together. Even the people at the front of the championship. So we saw that last season as well with the likes of the championship leader entity constantly finishing at the back some races, just showing how tight the league was. Of course, there's no room for error. But yeah, right now you can see him. We're going to merge in what will be P12 in the end. But I thought I could have probably been in the top 7 right now if we got onto the one stop. But it's my fault for going on the ultras right at the end, and I haven't learned since Bahrain, have I? I mean, the one race for China where I actually try to qualify on the hardest highs, it's actually raining in the race, so it doesn't actually affect me. So yeah, very sort of disappointing charge strategy from me there, but I'm committed to the 2-stop now. As you can see, Saddam Hussein on older super softs than us. I think he had to pit on lap 1 for damage or something, or lap 3. But we know he got slightly pressured tyres, and then his Rogue Samurai's unfortunately crashed off into the wall. Yeah, I can feel for him. That section isn't too well. It's flat out, but as soon as you have damage, it is quite scary. As we're going to get Saddam Hussein on the straight quite easily in the end, and that's us up into P10. Even so, of course, he is within DRS, and he actually managed to drop him that lap on the fresher tyres, but all I need is one mistake and he's back in our DRS window, because of course he is quite a fast driver. I think he's got a couple of 5th place finishes. I've actually yet to get a top 5 since season 14. I think my last top 5 was all the way back in Brazil season 14, so a long time ago. I've got a couple of top 6s since then, but nothing really notable to any podium or anything. So I could have probably got one in Bahrain, but yeah, now I've got bigger things to worry about. You can see I've got Saddam Hussein all over my back, and yeah, he's going to try to get the position back, as we're not really going to defend, because that's just going to really lose us time. We're going to tuck back into the slipstream, and we're going to get him on the second DRS straight, because of course it's quite easy to do that. As you can see, Karnak's going to come out right behind us, so once again, I don't know if I would have been level with him if I did choose to start with the super softs, but I definitely think I'll be around this position, with, of course, not having to do an extra pit stop, because, of course, the ultras are just so slow after lap 2. They die so quickly. As Saddam Hussein goes defensive, we're going to go rounders outside, braking late. And that was a hell of a move, I've got to admit. I don't normally go for ballsy moves like that, but when I saw him go defensive, I broke late, and I took him clean around the outside, and I was really chuffed with that move. And, yeah, even so I wasn't on, I mean, it's hard to tell where you are in these league races until the end. But it sort of looked I was probably top 7, top 8 at best, maybe even top 10. So yeah, I was just trying to make every fight matter, every fight count. Because you can see on lap 14 now, we're still battling for P8, and we still have to make a pit stop, where quite a lot of people are already on the softs, as you can see Karnak. So it wasn't looking too great in terms of the points, but I was just battling Hussein, just trying to get past him each time. I wasn't letting him get past like I normally let people pass, and you can see going defensive again. Finally, getting some elbows out with driving. I'm doing too much. I used to be aggressive on deck on 2014, but sort of I've been too scared of really crashing out in these later games. Of course, I've actually been really consistent in getting to the finish in each race. I don't think I've crashed out of a single race since I think season 13. So I've been really consistent in that respect. So yeah, just trying to sort of keep my track record and just keep out of battles, as we gain a few more positions, so a few more people did have to pit, but still we got to make a pit stop. As you can see, Saddam Hussein pits. We're going to make a pit stop actually in lap 16, and we actually are temporarily up into P6, but yeah, I think we're going to come out about P10 or something, so not the best there for us, but it'll be interesting to see where we come out in relation to Saddam Hussein. Of course, we tried the overcut on him, so he should be able to get out ahead of us. So here we are now on the supers. They are slightly worn supers, because I did do a lap on them in qualifying. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to make the lap count compared to my ultra lap. But you can see now we're going to come out what will be actually ahead of Saddam Hussein. So 9th place in the end. And on fresher tyres, we actually aren't too far behind Kureka. Even so, Kureka on the super softs as well. He pit 2 laps prior to us, but he is a really fast driver. As you can see, PR release, unfortunately out of the race, but it's not going to affect us because he's behind us. So yeah, still P9 in the end. But yeah, Karnak really struggling for pace. You can see him actually not too far up the road. And as we get onto lap 20, getting our own, I think that's our first warning of the race, he's actually only about 8 seconds up the road, which, considering you made an extra pit stop against him, it's quite disappointing for my teammate, to be honest. I don't know if it's like a track he hates or he just got damaged, because it's really unlike him, because he's normally right in the front. So you can see now Reborn was just rides out the race, but unfortunately he was a lap down to that. Also, that didn't affect me. So they're now down to 11 runners. So it looks like I'm in a worse position than I am, but technically, of the 10 people who have retired, most of them were actually behind me. So, yeah, I do stand by my P9 right now. As you can see on lap 22, you can see there's yellow flags. So we're actually down to 10 runners now. So I think there's somebody else at the race. And yeah, it is Karnak, unfortunately. So my teammate just trying to push the tyres quite far. And yeah, just really showing how much, well, it's a race to forget for him, really. He's been so good all season. So hopefully he can bounce back strong next race, because it's not been a good race for him at all. And yeah, that was it for our race. We managed to finish P8 in the end after quite a big gap either side of us. And yeah, as we head on to the standings, Edge takes a commanding lead after a win. JCP moves to second in the championship with a second place on track. Kreka stays, I think, P3. And Karnak moves down, unfortunately, to P4 after crashing out. Schwalb as well also crashed out, so he's P5. Heiko gets another podium, and he's on 34 points now, so both his podiums contributing a lot towards his point tally. So that rounds off the top 5. As you can see now, the constructors, Ferrari, once like in THL, dominant here. Of course, JCP and Schwalb sort of when one does work badly, the other does well. And Red Bull and Renault quite close for P2, and also you can see Toro Rosso as well. So right now, even after a bad result from me and Karnak, we're actually able to hold down that P2 right now. So hopefully we can do a much better job in the coming races. But yeah, just a quick overview of the race results. You can see Edge in the end wins over JCP. Heiko gets another podium. Ken Worthington in 4th. Gorky Kui in 5th. Cans in 6th. Koreka in 7th. And we will finish in the 8th. So that's it for this episode. And see you next time for Spain.